let's talk about 3 techniques you can use to grow delicious avocados right in your backyard. The first is to grow an avocado tree from seed. The second technique is to clone an already existing avocado tree. And the last way is go to a local nursery or garden center and get yourself a tree that's already a few years old. I'm going to tell you all about each of those 3 techniques, the pros, the cons, the considerations, so that you can decide which method you want to use to grow delicious avocados like this one here right in your own backyard. Technique number 1, growing avocados from seed. Avocados come from trees, and trees come from seeds. So a very sensible way to grow avocados in your backyard would be to plant a seed. Let's talk about 2 ways to do that. To grow an avocado seed using 3 toothpicks and a glass of water, you will need 3 toothpicks, an avocado, and a glass of water. Step 1, slice open your avocado, being careful not to cut the pit on the inside. Step 2, go eat your freshly opened avocado. Now that your belly's full and you have a big avocado-induced smile on your face, it's time to identify the top and bottom of your avocado seed. That's right, avocado seeds have a top and a bottom. Whether it's from a Hass you got at a supermarket, whether it's from a choquette you bought from me, or whether it's this Catalina right here, all have a belly button-like bottom that's concave and a pointed top. Step 4, fill a clear glass or plastic drinking cup almost to the top with water. Now we need to suspend your avocado seed bottom down, top up in the glass of water. And we'll do that in step 5 using 3 toothpicks. Place your toothpick right about in the middle of the avocado and just go in just enough, maybe a ½ a centimeter or so, just enough so it won't come out. I turn the seed 1/3 rotation. And you don't have to be precise, you're not launching a rocket into space, but turn the seed about 1/3 of a rotation. Put your second toothpick, again about a ½ a centimeter depth, and now turn the seed 1 more third. Insert your 3rd toothpick, and you are now ready to suspend your avocado seed in your glass of water. And remember, bottom down, belly button side down. For ongoing care, place this on a windowsill that gets partial light throughout the day, and make sure the seed is always touching water. Don't let it evaporate to where the seed doesn't touch any water. Keep it so it's always submerged in a little bit of water. The water's going to get dirty, you're going to get algae, don't worry about it, don't let it drive you crazy. Eventually, you will see a root system start to emerge from the bottom of the seed, and a sprout start to emerge from the top. Keep that going till the stem gets about 6 or 7 inches high, and then you're ready to transplant it to a pot with soil. While I have this pot in my hand, let's talk about the second way to plant a seed, which is to skip the water and just put your seed directly in soil. You need a pot, you need soil. I don't care what kind of soil, as long as it's potting soil that allows for drainage and that your pot has holes for drainage. Place the seed in the soil, again belly button down. Pack around it. You'll leave about a 1/4 inch of the top of your seed exposed. Keep this in partial light. Protect it from critters, especially squirrels. Water it every 2nd or 3rd day. And just like with the seedling, go around the edge of the pot every 60 days with a 666 blend fertilizer. Just a little spoonful. As your tree grows bigger, you'll want to use a prop stick. So fasten your stem to a prop stick so that the stem grows straight. After about 6 to 8 months, if you feel like you're ready to go directly into the dirt in your yard, go to the dirt in your yard or transplant to an even bigger pot. And there you have it. That's how you grow an avocado from seed. The pros of growing an avocado from seed. Number 1, you get to eat an avocado. You also don't need a lot of specialized tools. You don't need a lot of knowledge about botany and horticulture. You take your seed, your soil, your water, and your sunlight, and you let Mother Nature do the rest. The cons from growing a tree from seed are twofold. Number 1, a seed-grown avocado tree takes about 10 to 12 years before it produces fruit. So you're signing up for about a decade-long wait before you get your first fruit. The second big disadvantage to growing from seed is that you do not know what that fruit will taste like. The tree that this seed grows is not going to give me fruit identical to where it came from. It might taste better, it might taste worse, it might be completely inedible, it might never even give you fruit at all. So while growing from seed is the easiest technique, it is also the most risky. Which brings us to technique number 2, which is cloning an already existing tree. Remember what I told you about growing a tree from seed? You get a tree that's unpredictable. It's going to grow up and give you a unique variety of avocado, just like every single human baby that's born grows up to become a unique adult. But as human beings, we like avocados that taste good. We like avocado trees that give us lots of fruit. And we like to get that fruit every single year. So if as a farmer, I get a tree like this guy here that produces every year, gives me a lot of fruit, and gives me a really tasty fruit, I want to ensure that the next tree I plant does the same exact thing. And cloning this guy using grafting gives me that capability. So if you're going to go the grafting route, the nice thing is you get to choose what variety avocado you are going to grow. And the way we graft is we take a cutting from the tree that we want to clone. And we take that little cutting and insert it into a seed-grown seedling. So how do you use grafting as a technique to grow a tree in your backyard? Step 1, grow yourself a seedling from seed. I don't care if you grow it in water or soil. Let it grow for about 6-8 months till you have a nice strong seedling. At this point, I recommend you go to other videos on my channel on how to graft, because I'm not going to take up the next 20 minutes grafting a tree for you. But essentially, you snip the tree off at about 8 inches high, and then you cut a notch or a slit in your seedling tree. Then you cut a little wedge, womp, womp, in your scion or your graft that you're attempting to clone, and you insert that clipping into the slit you cut in the seedling. You then wrap it nice and tight with grafting tape, and hopefully your graft takes. This is a successfully grafted Brogden variety avocado tree. It started out as a seed-grown seedling just like you grew earlier, but then we took a cutting from a Brogden tree and inserted it into the stem of the seed-grown seedling. You could see right there where the insertion took place. At that point, the two trees fused together. At that point, the cutting from the Brogden tree fused with the stem of the seed-grown tree, and we are now growing a Brogden avocado tree. Pros and cons to technique number 2, grafting. The pros are, number 1, you get exactly the fruit you want. If you want to grow Hall avocados, then you will get a Hall tree. You want to grow Pollocks, you'll get a Pollock tree. You want to grow Hass like you had at the supermarket, you will be growing Hass avocados. Advantage number 2, unlike your seed-grown tree that takes 10 to 12 years to produce, a grafted tree produces fruit in year 3. You get your fruit a lot faster. The disadvantages to grafting your own trees are, number 1, it can be tricky. Here's a failed graft. Disadvantage number 2 is that grafting requires some specialized knowledge and also some specialized tools and equipment, right? You need grafting tape, pruning, shears, rooting, hormone, all kinds of stuff like that in order to be a successful grafter. So technique number 2, while more predictable and faster, is a little bit more difficult to accomplish. Wouldn't it be great if you had a way that combined the pros of both techniques and eliminated the cons? That brings us to technique number 3. Go to a garden center, go to a Home Depot, go to a Lowe's, whatever, go to a local nursery and get yourself a tree that's already 2 or 3 years old. So if you decide you want to grow a Hall or a Pollock, you just go walking into a nursery and say, hey, do you have a Hall tree or do you have a Pollock tree? And if they do, you buy it, you take it home, you dig a hole and you stick it in the ground. That tree might already be 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. You'll be getting fruit the next year. The downside is, of course, cost, right? The bigger tree you buy, the more expensive it's going to be. These trees at nurseries and Home Depot range in cost from, 50, 75 bucks to 2, 3, 4, even 500 bucks. And of course, the bigger the tree you get, the deeper and wider hole you need to dig when you get it home. And you get to a certain size where if you have to hire someone to come in with equipment, that's going to cost you also. Now, some of you are do-it-yourselfers, right? You want to grow this seed and you want to know that you took it from step one all the way to fruit. If it takes 10 years, if it takes 12 years, you're willing to put in the weight so that you could have the satisfaction of taking your first bite of that avocado knowing that you grew it from seed. Maybe you're a tinkerer. You like to take on challenges. You like to try new things. Then maybe grafting's the route for you. Or you could be the speed to value type. You don't want to spend a lot of time messing around in your garden, right? You just want to dig a hole, stick a tree in it, and next year be eating fruit. It doesn't matter which of those three people you are. There's a technique for you to grow your own avocados in your backyard. Now, maybe none of those three personality types describe you. Maybe you just want to get right to eating delicious fruit. And if that's you, go get yourself a box of these beauties at guacfarm.com. GUACFARM.com. Maybe you've never seen a haul before and you want to try one of these, or a Catalina, or a Choquette, or a Monroe. Maybe you grew up in South Florida or the Caribbean, but you've moved somewhere where they only sell Hass variety and you missed the fruit you grew up on. Maybe you've been looking at this t-shirt going, man, I gotta have one of those. Well, like I said, if you're one of those people, go to guacfarm.com, get yourself some fruit, get yourself a t-shirt, and while you do that, I gotta get my little boy off to football practice. And I will see you on the next video.